All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Goodson. You're watching a special edition of Rebrand.
Special.
Very, very, very special. We have a lot to uncover today, Kim.
Oh, yes, we do.
Anyway, look, Ace will be on here in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. You should already know him. His name is Leonard, the income stream savant McDonald. You know, I had to read your name, Leonard. I'm like, God, his name longer than what I recognize. What's up, Eric?
What's good, everybody?
All right, so now look, we're coming on special for y'all tonight. We want everybody to chime in, and I'm hoping I'm not having technical difficulties, so I'm going to try to see everybody's comment and bring them up. So I want y'all to chime in. Eric, Kim, if y'all could help me out with the comments, do so if we're having issues. But we're going to talk tonight about Will Smith and Chris Rock. This is... I hate to use the words amazing, because if you use the word amazing, then they're thinking greatness. But this is the most amazing, and I don't mean greatness thing I've ever seen. And I definitely want to uncover this and talk about it. So much to uncover here, y'all. We could talk about the back, whatever happened before all this stuff happened. Then we can talk about the joke. Then Will, of course, approaching the stage. And then, how Chris Rock reacted, all those things. I think we can uncover all those things. But first, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all tell a quick little bit about how y'all feel about it. I'm going to pull up the video, we'll play that, and we'll dive right into this conversation. Kim, go first.
So this is my disclaimer. This is the last time that I will even talk about this, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about one man putting his hands on another. So I want, that's my disclaimer. After this show, I won't say anything else about it, but I feel like, Will overreacted. I think it's a time and a place for everything, and I just don't think that it was the time and the place for that. I think he just was in his feelings, and he just took it too far. That's just what I think.
All right, so she saying Will was in his feelings, maybe he took it too far. Eric?
I have no skin in this game at all. I'm kind of like Kim in regards to that. This is something I don't want to talk about much more than this, because everything he put on social media platforms today, he was talking about Will and Chris, obviously, and some Jada conversations as well. And I think part of it really ain't about the people to me at this point. It's about what it represents. And I've heard so many different perspectives today, and I respect everybody's perspective because it's from their seat on the bus, right? So it's how they live their lived experiences, and so based on those things, I don't have a skin to get. I don't really have a reaction to it anymore. Initially, I was shocked, disappointed, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But at this point, I don't have a skin in the game. I hope they can get to a point where they can have a conversation about this and talk about it like two men. But I guess if I had to put my stamp on what I believe happened last night, I think that there's blame to go around for everybody, but when you do cross the line and put your hand on somebody else, that does put a different light on the situation for sure. So I'll leave it at that for right now.
All right, let's go to the comments real quick. I don't have them on my end. I'm having some serious problems. We're going to have to figure this out. Kelby Alicia, my girl Chunner, she says, hey, Reba. She's talking about Reba Evans. Another viewer. Kelby also says, oh, this is gonna be good. What's up, Kayleen? She said, hey y'all. Hey, what's up, Kayleen?
Hey,
so I can see the comments. For some reason I can't pull them up. All right, so Eric, right on. Eric has no skin in the game. Kim says she think Will overreacted. Let's see, Leonard comes on every once in a while, but let's see if we want him to come back. Leonard, what do you think?
I think Will did what he was supposed to do. That's how I feel about it. Not to say I'm condoning violence,
right?
But at the same time, when I look at the way things transpired, I blame Chris Rock 100%.
All right, you don't even have to explain anymore. We're just gonna leave it right there. We'll come back into this in just a second. We're gonna go ahead and show part of this video. I hate to, cause see, me and Kim, and Eric, we already discussed this last night. We said we weren't gonna show this on our page, but I guess on the show it's almost necessary for us to show. Do y'all agree?
For this discussion.
Even though everybody in TV land and Facebook
have seen it,
has already seen it. Absolutely. So we're gonna play a 58-second clip. Here we go.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
Wait, y'all can't see it, can you?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna try to pull that back up just so we can get a good.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith.
I tell you what. One thing I will say is he took a punch or a slap or however you want to put it. But anyway, let's uncover this for a little bit. Will Smith slaps Chris Rock. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about it. First of all, I mean, like, I think I'm reluctant to start off like this because I believe I'm gonna want to say this again later on in the conversation. But Jada Pinkett is so freaking Hollywood, and she comes from Baltimore. We had this conversation earlier, Leonard. She's so freaking Hollywood. She's everything that Hollywood is. It's okay for her kids, her son, to wear a dress. All right, she's got mental health issues. Now she's got alopecia. If Michael Jackson was still living, she'd have vitiligo. She's been in an entanglement. She's in Scientology. Everything is Hollywood. She is. And Will Smith is, to me, what appears to be, and of course I don't know him, a very humble guy. He seems like the type of guy who's just, kind of, easy. He's making everybody laugh. He's easygoing guy. He's the life of the party for the most part. And if you don't give him any trouble, he won't give you any trouble. I think if you give him trouble, you give him some trouble, he's going to give it to you. That was explained last night. However, I don't believe that was his trouble. The way that I feel is Will Smith was the culmination. All that last night was the culmination of what he's been dealing with Jada. And that's just her personality. That's not the fact that she puts him out on Facebook so much and she puts him out on all these other programs. Now, that's my original take. And the reason why I wanted to say that is because first of all, I feel like there's a behind the scenes story behind that little 58-second clip we just watched a moment ago. Right? So, in a minute, we'll get to the Chris Rock bit and all that stuff. But at what point, if Chris Rock didn't do it, was he going to do this to somebody else?
Yeah, I think he was ready to lash out. He was, I think he was just like a teapot, just about to start boiling and steaming and blew his top. I think that anybody could have pushed that. But Kelby Alicia, she said, I'm sad that a black man embarrassed a black man in that manner. And I'm with you on that. Keith Bennett said, do we think that it was a distraction? Yes, it was a distraction. You distracted the host. You distracted the host. You interrupted the whole show.
Absolutely.
And then you tried to make light of it by referencing, Venus and Serena's dad, which is the one that he won the Oscar for. Come on now. I mean, you're all this drama that you have created in those 15 seconds has overshadowed the rest of the Oscars. And everybody else who won anything or was recognized after that, nobody even has any kind of recollection of that. They can't even get the proper congratulations. Okay,
so Sky says, I agree that slap was just a smidgen of what he wanted to do to August. Christy also said Jada is toxic and very dark. All right.
So my thing is, man, I've heard so many different perspectives today, man, and it's so interesting based on what I've heard from different people, right? And so I see Brandon Timmons said red table talk is the issue. So I'm seeing that all these different things come in, right? So, and it could be as simple as what happened, right? And it could be a whole lot of stuff going on beneath, like you were saying, Anthony, in regards to what Will Smith is going through personally, emotionally, mentally, all that good stuff like that. And personally, I believe it's more got to do with that, even spiritually. We get to that part maybe later on in the conversation. But it's so much he's dealing with that that's why I have a hard time really judging him based on what he did. Now, I don't know. I'm kind of like Leonard. I don't condone violence. But I got some country boys that I grew up with. They say that they what you Leonard say, hey, you try to make my wife upset or my wife get upset, something you say, hey, I gotta come at you. You know what I'm saying? So I know I've heard a lot of people say that today based on their love for their wife. So everybody got different perspectives. I think I want to be able to have. I want everybody to feel comfortable coming on and sharing your comments on the Facebook page. Also, if you want to come on the show for a minute, you can come on the show tonight too. We got enough space, right, Anthony?
Well, we got plenty of space if you want to come on. But see, Chrissy just said mental health. I want you to explain that a little bit, because all of a sudden everybody got. Listen, do y'all remember a time? It used to be a time where you just didn't say anything about anybody. Your mama jokes was real sketchy, and if you found somebody else who was cool with it, and y'all can go back and forth, but you really couldn't say anything about anybody. But then all of a sudden text messages came, and with a text message you could say the absolute worst thing in the world to a person, comma, LOL, and it made it okay. I think now we're in that day, Leonard, chime in when you want to, that we're in an era where you can say anything about somebody, and all of a sudden you can throw the mental health portion in there, and it's okay. So Jada's okay. Jada, she's just going through mental health issues. Kanye's going through mental health issues. And we can't always use that as an excuse. No, these people are disrespectful, narcissists. They're just as bad as other people. Other people whose name I don't want to use.
Listening to y'all because first, Kim is a trip. Because I can tell you right now, let me take Kim out somewhere. And some people saying something, a guy said something she don't like. She gonna be looking at me. Like, so you just gonna let him talk about me like that? See how she's shaking her head?
I would.
So, what's the difference from last night?
It's a joke. It's a joke. When you sit in the front at a comedy show, and not saying that this was a comedy show, but when you sit, it was just a small joke. I've heard worse things than that. So maybe she's tired of being in social media. She put herself there, and in her defense, her entanglement and everything was all publicized or whatever. And I'm sure that Will has done his share of dirt too. So we can't just sit up here and just rag her, rebrand her as in the building. But I'm just saying, we can't put all the blame on her, but she has been in the public eye these last couple of years because of the choices that she's made. And the thing is, it was just a simple joke to kind of lighten the air at the Oscars, which is what Chris Rock was hired to do. And that's what he was doing. And just because you are in your feelings, because your relationship has been more publicized in the last 2 or 3 years, does not give you the right to put your hands on anybody.
Okay, so obviously we know there's some bad air. We're going to talk about that for a little bit.
You're a trip, Leonard.
The bad air is, let's go back 6 years when, I can't remember what movie it was, but Will Smith thought he should have been nominated for an Oscar in 2016. And so they decided to boycott. A lot of black people decided to boycott the Oscars at that time. Was it necessary? 6 years has gone by. I don't remember the time. But I do know that the host was a black man, and it was Chris Rock. Chris Rock said, he made a comment about Jada Pinkett. He said, Jada Pinkett boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. So maybe it started at that time, but let's go back even further, like 2006 or so. This is the first Madagascar, the second Madagascar, the third, and they had several after that. So there's a relationship between those two. Are they friendly? Do they know each other very well? That I don't know. But he may not have known about the alopecia thing. So let's just talk about the joke for a little bit. The joke was Jada Pinkett, the next G.I. Jane movie, or G.I. Jane 2 or something like that. Now, all right, yeah, you want to defend your woman. You certainly want to defend your kid. But if nobody can look at you and just make a simple comment as weak as that, he could have gone a whole lot further.
Yeah, he could have.
It's Chris Rock. He's a comedian. He's been doing this for 40 years. So, or did it warrant that kind of reaction, Leonard? Come on.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Everyone's talking about how they feel.
Right.
What I'm looking at is behind closed doors, what has Jada shared with Will about how that affects her? You could clearly see how bothered she was when Chris Rock said that. So to everybody else, it's just a ha-ha joke. But to her, that could be hitting something deep. And that's why I think Will reacted the way he reacted. Because when you look at Will, that's not his character. Okay. So the only thing that makes sense to me when you look at his character, how he is, the way he operates, the fact that he jokes himself, the only thing that makes sense is that she shared something with him. He smiled at first, and then I think he saw her reaction and was like, okay, I need to handle this. Because when I go home tonight, I'm going to hear about it if I don't.
Well, my thing is he can handle it, but it's a way to handle it. And the way he handled it was not appropriate, you know. Going up on stage and totally interrupting a live Oscar show is not the way to do that, especially when you're putting your hands on somebody. He could have had a conversation with Chris backstage. I mean, how was Chris supposed to know that? That's just like whenever you ask somebody, when are you due? And they're not even pregnant. Well, I don't know. I just know that your belly is big. I just know that you're bald.
Yeah,
that's all that I see. How is Chris Rock supposed to know that she's sensitive and in her feelings about that? Everybody didn't know that.
See this, and I'm kind of in between. I can see all these perspectives kind of colliding, whatever. And I want to make sure we definitely get some of these comments in as well too.
Oh yeah, we got lots of comments.
But just kind of go back to what Leonard was saying. And I would say this: mental health is a range. We all got mental health issues. So mental health is really not an excuse for anybody. We all have it on some levels, whether it be lower grade and then higher grade than other people that you may see in the public eye. But I go back to what I said earlier too in regards to being judgmental about this, because if I put myself in Will's position, and let's say like a Coke bottle, right? You got all this gas and pressure building up in a Coke bottle, and you shake it up 1 or 2 many times, or you drop it or tilt it in the right way. The next time you open that top, it's gonna spill over. So once again, it's hard to say. It's hard to be judgmental about how you handle it. Now, again, is the best way to handle it? Probably not. But I just want to
probably to it, Eric. Take the probably out.
Well, probably not, because in how you live, it's not. But how people live in different areas of the country.
Well, yeah, but how Will Smith lives, it's not. It's absolutely not. All right, let's go to the comments, Scott.
Based on his character, though, that's why it's out of character for him. And that makes the difference. If he did this on a regular basis, then you say this is what he is. But since it's so out of character for Will, you got to wonder what's going on besides.
Based on your analogy, whenever you use the Coke bottle or whatever, if you leave that Coke bottle alone and allow it to settle down and deal with the issue that you have, you won't spew out.
Correct.
Skylar Sherry said, I didn't hear any boos. It was a light joke taken into this whole other context no one was even thinking of except Jada. That's a good point. Nobody was booing. Nobody thought it was a bad joke. Nobody probably thought it was a good joke. I bet it wasn't a lot of laughs. We'll play it in just a bit. Christy said, I'm not even sure she has alopecia. Thank you, Christy. That is exactly my point. Somebody, I think it was somebody, I forgot who it was. But anyway, somebody said that she's been bald most of her career. That was a comment in there. She has been bald. She was bald and set it off. She's bald. And alopecia could come at any time. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we'll give you that. But you've been bald most of your career. Nobody knows about your alopecia. Everybody don't follow Jada like she thinks everybody follows her.
Well, Go back to Chris though. Okay, because I'm playing both sides of the fence, sir. I like to say how much skin in the game. Now Chris did a whole documentary on black hair, right? And Chris had done a lot of different jokes on black women. So there's a lot of baggage with that as well. When I hear a lot of black women going for Chris and like he should be ashamed of himself, he should have did this, he should have done that, shouldn't have said this, shouldn't have said that. People have reasons why they say these things. And you may not agree with it, but people have a reason why they're saying it.
Let's take a look at what he said.
Love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Yeah, I see what?
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here.
All right, we'll just cut it right there, but
she did have an army green dress on.
She smiled. She let it.
That was that. Kim know what that smile was. That's that smile women give when you in trouble. Like they're not happy, they smiling, but it's like, okay, keep.
Hey, Leonard, I see Leonard game. Leonard want to say Kim know, Kim remember, Kim know if I went out. Kim, you can't try to put words in Kim.
You don't have no game in this fight.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't care about Jada. Jada's not even part of my even discussion point, honestly, because I understand why it's really Will. That's my talking point. But Jada, I understand. Like I said, I understand she may be the root of all this stuff that's happening with Will. But Will, like Denzel said, what was the Denzel statement? Anybody remember that?
The devil will get you at your highest point. Something to that nature. I want to kick a shout out to Latoya Jacobs, my sister-in-law. She says she's watching us. Hey, let's go to the comments real quick. Kelby Alicia, hey girl. That's Tariqa. Brandon Timmons. There are many videos out there that pointed out not a lot of boos, but there were boos. Listen, this jokes. Jokes are gonna come with laughs. It's gonna come with boos. That's the way jokes are. Chris Rock has been asked to come to this thing time after time after time after time. You know what? Let's talk about this a little bit deeper. Well, there's a statement in Hollywood saying, "Oh man, no news. There's no news is good news, and all media is good media, or something to that nature." All right.
You want to stay in the media as much as you can, definitely.
You want to stay in the media as much as you can. Will Smith is obviously about to get an award or be nominated for one, so they want him up at the front, the biggest award and the biggest, platform, right? So I understand why they were up front. But Chris Rock, to me, gave a shout out by saying something about Jada. He said, "Hey Jada, here's a little quick joke. You got to cut your hair off. It's a cut your hair off joke. You know what I mean?" And he didn't go.
First he said, "I love you."
See, so he said something to her. He made her relevant. He kept her name alive. It wasn't even all about Will Smith. To me, it seems like he was showing her love. So what he said, he can't. If there was a conversation between Will Smith and Jada Pinkett before the show, and I don't know what conversation that could have possibly been had. Well, she think that somebody gonna talk about her hair. She been cutting it off since 1997 when she set it off. Now, Chris Rock was not privy of that conversation. I can guarantee you. I can almost guarantee you. I would imagine. Speak to it, Lil.
She wouldn't have got mad if Nate had said that on Set It Off. I mean, she wouldn't have got mad.
Here's the thing. Like there's history there already.
I agree.
So when Chris Rock decided to tell that joke, he's saying that joke knowing they're not cool. It's like going to a neighborhood where people ain't really that friendly.
Do we know they not cool though?
And then you go over there anyway. What you think gonna happen? That's why I said it's 100% with Chris Rock.
Yeah, but what makes you think they're not cool?
Because when you go back to what did you say it was?
2016.
2016. Like right then, they let it be known that they were unhappy with what he said. So if someone's letting you know, hey, you told a joke that I didn't appreciate. And so you come to the Oscars in front of everybody, and now you choose to go at them. That's the first time disrespect. And then, like we said, when you look at Jada, that's something that bothered her. And then you think about what goes on between their conversations. Like people want to bring in, August and I don't think any of that had anything to do with what Will Smith did.
Baby, yes,
I think it was 100% understanding that they had a conversation. He knows that that's a weakness that she has. That's something she's real sensitive about. And then now after hearing that and then seeing how she reacted, because at first Will smiled. And I think he looked at her and was like, oh, that bothered her. And then he went up and did what he had to do. Not that I condone violence. I'm just saying.
Let's go to the comments right quick. Janique said, all Will Smith had to do was reply, yo mama, and that would have shut Chris Rock down. Feld said, I think that it was the last part of the joke that got his face whipped.
Whipped.
I don't think it's about that at all. And if it was said the entertainer, Kelby Alicia said, if it was said the entertainer, would he have slapped him? If he had slapped Will Ferrell, do you think he would have been allowed to sit back in the audience and attend the Oscars?
I mean, it was a respectful slap, though. Like, he slapped him and
wow.
A respectful slap would have been he'd take his glove off and slapped him and said something about a duel.
Glove, man.
Years ago.
Brandon Timmons said, Will snap, that's all, pressure bust pipes. I agree.
All right, let's take it to the next level. Since you said this about Will Ferrell, I think that what if Bradley Cooper would have gone on stage and slapped David Spade? Would we be talking about this right now?
No.
It wouldn't be a story.
We probably.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be on this.
Let me switch it up a little bit for you. What if Will Smith would have gone up there and slapped David Spade? Would that be a story?
I think Will Smith in general, if he did anybody, I think it's a story for me personally.
Well, what if Bradley Cooper had gone up there and slapped Chris Rock?
Oh yeah, we would have been talking about that.
I would have been talking about Chris just let the dude slap him, he ain't do nothing about it.
All of a sudden.
Now, that is one thing I agree with you on tonight, Leonard.
Got one step there. Okay.
Okay, now I'm glad you said that, Leonard. That's where we're gonna have to take the conversation to the next level. So keep the comments coming. We really appreciate that. Kim is gonna stay on it all night long. Now let's talk about a little bit how Chris Rock took that slap. And he took it with grace and dignity, if that's even a possible thing. I mean, he didn't cry or anything. I think if he'd have hit Tyler Perry like that, it would have been like or something would have come out. I'm sorry, but it would have been a different noise. But and so from the time that Will Smith walked on the stage, at what point do you think, Leonard, that he knew Will Smith was about to?
You heard him say, "Uh-oh."
He said Richard. He's talking about that King Richard character. So he knew it was coming. He knew it was coming.
So what is?
I think he leaned in because I think that he thought that Will was going to say something to him instead of put his hand on him. That's what I think.
I think it was coming.
What did you say?
Will was walking like a man on a mission.
Yeah, he was.
I'm gonna slap him and I'm gonna end it at that and just take my seat like ain't nothing happened. And the only reason he said something after that was because Chris kept talking. So he said, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth."
Well, let's go ahead and if anyone wants to come in, please let us know because we want to hear from you and we want to hear you verbally.
She's got some stuff to say. She needs to come on.
Well, I'm gonna send it to Toya. Toya, text me your email address. All right, let's go ahead and bring Ace in. What's up, Ace?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
Looking like Nelly.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
Chris Rock.
I ran in Will Smith at the Dollar General. He didn't appreciate some of the comments I had made about Jada. So he handled it in Will Smith fashion.
Well, I think that August Alsina has a lot to do with this. Really is kind of sliced down Will's manhood because he's allowed his wife to have an entanglement, and that's weak in the black community, if you ask me.
Well,
people have been really giving him a hard time behind that.
It's the old philosophy: you can F with her, you can F her, you just can't F with her. So I think that's kind of the position that Will took.
Okay.
But see, I think too we have to keep in mind too, like, yeah, Will and Jada are both black and a part of the black community. I was telling somebody this earlier today, but you gotta understand too, they are a part of the celebrity world too, which we have no knowledge based of what that looks like, what that feels like, and things like that, right? So what we think is normal for us ain't still normal for them, and what's normal for them ain't normal for us. So I just leave it at that.
Well, go ahead, Kim.
Somebody put red table talk is the issue.
I agree. Who said that?
I want to know. Whenever they put, I don't know who said it. I can go back and look. But I want you to come on. I want you to reply and tell me why you feel like red table talk is the issue. Number one, red table talk is supposed to be a form of therapy for the people who are on there.
Man.
But whenever she put their business out there on the red table talk for sure.
Red table talk has done nothing but torture Will Smith since the day it started. That's the only thing that show has accomplished.
She got ratings though.
Yeah, you got ratings because it's drama.
I think I'm trying to keep this story real short, but there's a psychopath test. I forgot what college has it. Eric might know, but it's a story of this mother died. She had two daughters, and so one daughter was taking it really hard. After the funeral, they met back at the house. People came by, and she wound up talking to a guy who just enamored her. Something happened. She had to go away. When she came back, he was gone. She didn't know how to contact him or anything like that. A year later, she killed her sister. Why? A friend of mine asked me this. I was like, to see the guy again. He said, I'm a psychopath. Right? And the reason he said that is because no one normally thinks, everyone else interjects their own personal thoughts to make it make sense to them. But everything people usually interject, there's no real evidence of it outside of how they feel. I said that because the only time she saw him was when her mother died. So if there was another death, she would see him again. And I think everyone is throwing in the red table talk and all this other stuff, when I believe Will has said a couple times how that he's past that, it's over, they had their talks and all of that stuff. So to bring that back into the equation is to just be like, well, he ain't really get over it because I wouldn't have been over it, or I don't think that's necessarily the way it should have happened. And we're the ones that keep it going. I think he really let go of that a while ago.
Well, his actions last night spoke differently, though.
No,
the first thing about
it related to that.
First thing about your story, Leonard, is you know how many psychopaths you got to be around to have a psychopath test. You know how to analyze that. That's the first thing. Second thing, Will saying Will trying to save face for the public. He's not over that stuff, man. I'm gonna tell you something. An affair is hard enough to get over, but then when you add that to being in public in front of the world, man, that's a whole different ballgame.
All right, we bringing some of our guests in. If you want to come in, let us know. Send us your information. Absolutely, Ace says beat Brandon Timmons. Toya, what's up?
What's up, Toya?
Hey, what's going on?
When I say your name next time, just answer. So Toya, tell us your take. How do you feel about the slap heard around the world? Oh Lord, Toya got a delay. You see what we don't do this to her? Says she froze. Can you hear us?
Hold on one second. I'm gonna head outside real quick.
Okay, while you head outside, we'll keep it moving. So, Leonard, you believe that there was a conversation that's had before the Oscars started. You believe that Will sat down with Jada, and Jada said, "Listen, Will, if somebody." I'm using the word somebody because we don't know that it's Chris Rock, but probably Chris. Somebody get up and say something about my hair that I just shaved off. And let's take a quick poll. There's 5 people on here. Actually, let's get Toya back in. Toya? Okay, there's 6 people on here. Let's take a quick poll. How many of you us 6, knew that Jada had alopecia? By show of hands. All right, now good. I'm glad I said that. 0 out of 6 knew that she had an alopecia. Now you raised your hand too late. You don't count no more.
I have heard though.
I ain't heard nothing. You just being difficult.
We need to see the diagnosis.
So 0 out of 6 people on this podcast knew, and we keep up enough with the media that. So you saying that he had this conversation with her about something that most of the world probably didn't know anything about, and that triggered her? Or was it, if they say anything about me, everybody in this world must now walk on eggshells when it comes to me, Will Smith, and that's normal?
I think what happened is that since she supposedly became aware of having this disease, that yeah, I said that on purpose for you.
Yes, thank you.
but since she became aware of having it, that she shared some vulnerabilities with Will Smith about it. I don't watch the Red Table Talk, but knowing how open she is, I'm fairly certain she shared those same things on the Red Table Talk before. And so it's not about them having a conversation before going in. I think behind closed doors, understanding how she feels, her being vulnerable with Will about, the way she really feels about the whole thing that's going on, and then now going in, no, Chris Rock possibly didn't know. I'm not saying I know for sure he knew. What I am saying is he knew that most likely they're going to have a problem with him joking with them. Will knew the insecurities that she may have had that what Chris Rock said brought up. And then seeing how she was responded, he's like, okay, nah, I got to do something.
Toya got something to say. Go on, Leonard. Toya got something to say.
Remind me not to stick up for Kim, Aunt.
Okay, so I agree with Kim on a lot of what she has said, but at the same time, now that I'm married, I must say this: it is so hard speaking on someone else's marriage. Now that I know, before you get married, I feel like, man, you say things, and now that you're married, it's like, whoa, like I shouldn't be speaking on somebody else's marriage. I got my own stuff to be dealing with. But since we are talking about this, I like to say that I don't think Jada's hair, he may not have known that she had alopecia or whatever the case may be. I don't think it was necessarily that statement that got him slapped. If you go back, if you can play that video one more time, my man, y'all gonna hear him say like something like this. Play that video one more time.
She come on, we're calling shots. I gotta go find the video, but go ahead and I actually had another video. I'm gonna play it for you, Toya. But I actually had another video of another angle, I believe, of him slapping. Let's see if I can find this.
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face. What? Slap.
Not right.
I'll find it for you. Go ahead, make your point, and then I'll pull it up.
My point is, it's that last statement that I feel is what got him clout, because he could have just stopped at the joke, because Will thought the joke was funny. Mm-hmm. He thought the joke was funny. It was that last part that said, like, he said something like it wasn't even that bad. Like, he could have said more. And I think that's the part that got his face slapped, because even though that's their marriage, whatever they agree on, and Will, they even spoke on it at the red table. They said that they tried the traditional marriage. They tried that for so long and it didn't work for them. So whatever they allowed within their marriage, yes, they brought some issues on with that by having an open marriage, or saying, hey, you can be with this person, I can be with this person, as long as we don't bring this home. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Yeah, that was between them. But what happened was when she decided to step out and be with August, and August came forward because she didn't want to fool with him anymore, he brought it to the public. At that point, Jada felt like it's out in the public. Everybody's talking about it. I have to address it at the red table. I need to bring it forward. If he's going to talk about it, what am I going to do? Sit here and act like it didn't happen? So therefore, she brought it to the red table. She talked about it with Will. You could tell Will was hurt. Now, what we don't realize, or what we don't know, is that the things that Will have done, because he even said it, he was like, oh, I can go out and do some things. She's like, no, you have done enough. So she even said it then.
Hey,
like, so they both have done their dirt. You know what I'm saying? And Will, yes, you could clearly tell that he was hurt at that red table talk.
All right, let's go to the comments real quick. The comments, I'm going to pull your video up here in just a bit, Toya. Mar Anthony Hubbard says, does she ever speak up for him during the red table talk? Janique Bird said, it seems as if Will is always covering, protecting Jada, but Jada isn't doing the same in return. I think everybody feels the same. Chris Bell, I didn't even know the Oscars were happening until today. I don't know the whole story, but if he was standing up for her because of character, you go, dude. And there's so much more there. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this video real quick, and then I'll let you make your point there, Toya.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here.
It was that was a nice one. That's what I think he implied. Will took it that he implied it could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. It really
and
could
at that
be.
point, that's the part that Will didn't like. Because the Jada part was funny. I mean, he was gonna move on, but I think he should have cut that part out. That's what got him slapped.
Well,
to me.
when you sit in, that's what they do at the Oscars. They go through the crowd, through the I mean, that's what the comedians do. So it's like
no, and I agree. I totally agree. And I even had that conversation with my wife. I said, and she was like, maybe I said, you got to understand, a comedian, when they're up on stage, they're going to talk about, at some point, they're going to talk about somebody that's sitting in the front row.
You right there.
And just so happened, Jada got it this time. So I don't put nothing past that. I think it's everything leading up to what has happened in that last little statement of that was nice. That was a nice one. He should have just left that out, but I think that's what got his face slapped. For real.
She knew she was sitting up front looking like she lay down her life to protect Wakanda. She knew that.
You know what? I'm done with you.
So
some of those YouTube videos you see when people be trying to pull pranks when a guy is with his girlfriend and guy get on that, we don't play like that. We don't play like that. You know, comedians, there's certain people they won't talk about because they know they're gonna catch that smoke. So people will be like, oh, we'll have done this to this other person. Well, the same works in reverse. When Chris Rock has said that to somebody else, you know, that may have been more ready to go.
And I think if it would have been Bradley Cooper that slapped Chris, I think Chris would have slapped him back.
Yeah.
I just think that it's just a difference. He had more respect. I mean, come on.
Chris Rock was thinking about his money.
That was thinking about his money.
He was thinking about his money. He was hosting the Oscars. He getting paid. he wanted to get invited back. So it was kind of like
He what?
he had to think about, you know.
And he
needs to think about his check.
also issued an apology to the Smith family. And I haven't seen anything from.
Don't.
He better than me. I tell you what, if he had slapped me on stage and if I didn't retaliate because I was thinking about my money, I'm gonna tell you something. I would have went in starting from the youngest child to the oldest family member, mamas, grandmamas, dead aunties. I mean, I would do a whole comedy special on the Smith.
But Will needs to apologize for putting his hands on him. He didn't have any. I don't care what you do.
You know
the
what?
only thing that will warrant me putting my hands on you is if you put your hands on me.
It's no apology. It's no apology for that. Like, you can't apologize to a man for slapping a man. There will be blood.
I mean, he straight up embarrassed that man in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
How different would it have been if Chris Rock would have decided to tackle him, fight him? What if Chris Rock would have fought him?
You know, that would have looked bad for the black community, period. I mean, a slap on the face is already looking bad.
It's
You
bad.
see all them white people was looking at him?
That
was
back
looking
50 years.
Which is why I say 100% Chris Rock, because he the one that initiated it by telling the joke, knowing he was in the wrong neighborhood.
I want to see the camera angle that shows Jada while the slap was going on.
Thank you. I haven't seen that angle at all.
Yeah, she like
all I saw is her
Why
covering
didn't
him during
she grab her husband and tell him no?
I had that same conversation today with a good friend of mine, Janique, who was on just a moment who commented a moment ago. He actually apologized to Chris Rock this time as well. No, he didn't apologize to Chris. He got up, unless there's a new apology that was sent out. Will apologized a couple hours ago. Okay, I apologize. I didn't know that a couple hours ago. If somebody could find that. Yeah, if he said, "I'm sorry, Chris," that's the only way I'll accept that.
Yes, because Chris's apology was to Will and the Smith family. Period.
Well,
you know, even their son that wears the dresses, he apologized to Will.
Chris ain't been slapped like that since his days back at Tatalia Junior High with Caruso.
Oh my God.
It's definitely, but Chris handled it with style and great. You know, it's kind of 50-50. You know, the hood and you get like, you crazy, but then the adult thinking about that money and stuff like that, it's like, ooh, man, you know. I mean, he done been slapped in a movie before, you know, took a punch, so, you know.
Well, that's the other reason why I'm like, look, Will was like, forget all of that. Forget this Oscar. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I don't care about the scene I make. Because who I took my vows with to protect, that's who I'm going to protect.
But I don't understand that because his wife's mouth has been, you know.
Okay, well, you know where you finna go some place with it. Do y'all think? I also thought about this. Do y'all think that Will might have been in his feelings not because of what's been going on in his relationship and his marriage? Was he in his feelings because he felt like, you know, all this time he has never gotten an Oscar? He might have been on edge that he might not have gotten an Oscar this time.
You know how many people that's there that ain't won Oscars?
Nobody.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I'm just trying to figure
play
out where do the feelings come from.
Well, that would be a.
It came from that last part of that statement.
I think that would be a huge sense of entitlement if Will Smith felt like he deserved the Oscar so much more than anybody else. And quite honestly, in 2016 when they were boycotting, I forget what movie it was. I wish I had it in front of me, but he didn't deserve an Oscar then. I don't think he deserved an Oscar last night, not for this role. I mean, it was a great movie, but the performance was just kind of mediocre.
I think Will watches this podcast. You better be careful, man.
Five fingers to the face.
But you know what? Let's talk about memes for a little bit, and then we'll get off here in just a little bit. I have seen some of the best memes. One of the best memes I've seen is they said, "Why did Will Smith slap Chris Rock with an open hand?" Because paper beats rock.
He was strategic when he was like,
That's good.
You know what? The open hand makes a more statement. You can punch a guy, but that open hand slap is unforgiving. It's no returning from the open hand slap.
That's a pimp slap, ain't
You know,
it? The pimp slap
dude
with the back side of the hand with a little powder on there. What I mean,
But Shannon Sharp said earlier today on this show today. He said that 3 ways you can disrespect a black man: you spit on him, call him the N-word, or slap him. So we think from that perspective there. If Will's intentionally open hand slapped him,
Yeah,
he felt disrespected already, right?
Because it's
So
like
he
this.
want to make sure he felt disrespected.
He gave him one of them slaps that he had before the slap. He had to say, didn't I tell you? That's one of them kind of slaps he gave. It wasn't like, didn't I tell you?
So I'm looking it up right now. I see that Will has Smith apologized to Chris Rock for the slap 2 hours ago. Will Smith has actually issued one. I'll try to put it up in just a little bit. Violence, this is what he says. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. I'm sorry, is all you have to say.
Look,
I'm sorry.
Because that's not him. That's a publicist.
No, I think it was necessary for him to state.
That's a
to
publicist
state
though.
that.
That's not him. Because if you were sorry, you would apologize last night.
He wasn't sorry last night. Yeah, he
That's
needed
what I'm
time to.
saying.
They went out and bought it and everything.
Here's the statement. It says, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job. But a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. Anyway, I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love. You know what? I don't accept that personally. And I'm a huge Will Smith fan. I wasn't at first. Took me a while. Now I am a Will Smith fan. But see, Will, the person that Will has become over all these years with the character, the dignity, the intelligence, the wisdom, we can go and give all kind of words all day long. It does not match that. Will Smith should have gotten up in front of television. He could have paid for some TV time or whatever. He didn't even have to pay for it. He could have simply said, hey, ABC, I want to say something. He should have gotten on there. He should have went and got Chris Rock. He should have shook his hand. He should have, publicly. And I say publicly only because he slapped him publicly.
That's right.
Gave him a hug, man to man, black man to black man. Let's talk black for a little bit.
Yeah.
2016. It was when the issue started, supposedly, right? They're upset about, now they say they're upset because they don't have enough black people at the Oscars. That's what they say, right? Will Smith being one of them, he was wanting to be up for whatever movie it was at the time. Of course, Chris Rock, he still hosted it. He said what he had to say. And they just kept nailing the black issue. Black people aren't getting treated right for the Oscars and so forth and so on. Fast forward to 2022, Leonard, I think we had the same conversation. You, as a black man, get upset and go up on stage and slap another black man. All that contradicts everything you stand for. So for you to put this out, I don't really see you as the man that you were.
Well, could it have been that he needed more black people there so he'd have a bigger choice of who to slap? Like, it was slim pickings for him. Now they got everybody there. He's like, this one.
Well, your apology needs to be just as loud as your slap was.
And I agree. Your apology should match the slap.
Exactly. You slapped the man in front of millions of people, online, on TV and in the audience. You need to apologize in the same manner. That's
like I break into the bank, I steal $1 million, and I apologize and give y'all back $1. That's exactly what happened.
Shit, I need the rest of my coins.
Nah.
She's live on air, Toya. You shouldn't even know.
Y'all you leaving the context out about the whole thing. Like, yeah, I'm with you. We shouldn't be embarrassing each other at all, especially on national TV. But you'll say how he embarrassed Chris Rock on TV and did this and that, but you're not saying about how he embarrassed Jada on TV. Maybe because she be embarrassing herself. But that's why they embarrassed.
This the same woman. This the same woman that made up. This the same woman that made up Entanglement. She ain't embarrassed.
Not necessarily how she feel.
Well, exactly. But I don't think it was. He could have called her. He could have called her He could have called her Mini-Me. Or anything
he
like
could have
that.
kept her name out
It
his
could have been
mouth.
worse.
It
could have been worse.
What'd you say, Eric?
He won't say anything no more.
Will anybody?
Exactly.
Will anybody say anything about it? Because I think the whole world feels the same way we feel about Jada. The whole world feels this way. So is she completely off limits now?
No, them real deal comedians don't care.
Yeah. What it reminds me of is, well, she got raped, but look how she dressed. You know, it's like, well, that don't mean that she deserved that. You can't be like, well, look like she dressed. Like, yeah, like I keep saying, Jada put herself out there for
but she also knows that he didn't mean any harm by because he also said, you know, hey, it wasn't that bad.
Look, okay, now let me and you get in an argument, and you
say the sad part
again, and I'm like, it ain't that bad.
Hey, just picture if Charlie Murphy was still alive. You think he would have did that to Charlie Murphy?
He wouldn't have gave a damn.
Like, look at Jada over there. Look at that bald head Jada. Will Smith would have been walking on that stage, and what you doing? You want? I'll body slam you right now.
That is funny.
Come on, I'll whoop your ass for
you. Take that relationship, like you got to remember the relationship between them already that existed before the Oscars.
How do you know that, Leonard?
I never heard of them having any beef.
They were vocal about how they felt about Chris Rock and what he said back in 2016.
Everybody
that was already there.
Everybody gets offended by something that a comedian has said.
Back in when?
Yeah.
In 2016. And
that's
you're
ridiculous.
Right. But at that moment, I can make a decision to say, well, I know how they feel. Oh, well, I'm going to say it anyway. And that's what he did.
Grown people need to grow up.
Going to the comments, Skylar Shari, she said, he snapped, then he slapped. Now let's give him some grace. He's human. He messed up, apologized, and now we'll have to deal with his actions from last night for a long time. He has been a great role model his entire career, and I refuse to allow his action last night to tarnish his 30-plus year career.
I agree.
Okay, that's good.
I agree with it. I just don't like the apology.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you.
You like the apology?
I mean, I'm a man to man. Let me apologize to you like I disrespected you. You know what I mean? Because the reality is this was not a Chris Rock issue. Now Leonard could say all day that Chris Rock was 100% responsible, and I'll accept that. Okay, that's fine. That's Leonard's opinion, and only his opinion, and nobody else in the world except for Jada feels that way, and that's probably the worst opinion I've ever heard. However, this was not a Chris Rock issue. This was a Will and Jada issue. It spewed over, like Eric was saying with the Coke bottle earlier. I probably shouldn't have done that. I didn't know how they were going. But anyway, this was not a. Yeah, I should have done. I'm sorry. This was not a Chris Rock issue. This was a Will and Jada issue, and he know it. If you either don't apologize or apologize right, you know, by just doing it and just getting it out there, and it's not even really personable. And you say Chris' name one time, and you know you highlight the slap more than you highlight the apology. To me, this is just getting it over with. Be man to man. Be black man to black man. Show. I mean, you know, what would Denzel say about this? You know, you obviously like what he got to say about so many things. So what would Denzel say about this? And personally, I don't think he did the right thing. But long live this brother, and I hope that his career continues to strive or thrive.
I need my slap back on TV.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary for him to apologize, go up there and apologize on TV. I mean, let's be real. Put any of us in that situation. Had we done the same thing and slapped somebody, in that moment, you ain't thinking about apologizing. You did what you did. When you have time to process it, then you apologize. Now, how do I agree with him apologizing online? I hope he reached out to the man or either spoke to him in person and apologized to him face to face. That was something that wasn't meant for us to truly see, even though we saw the slap. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think any of us, I think we're thinking, yeah, because of the position that he's in, we're thinking higher, that he should act higher than us. But let's be real, like, any of us slap somebody, we are not going right back to say, hey man, I'm sorry at that moment. I slapped you. I'm going to let it simmer for a while. And then when I have the time to process it and truly think about it, if I feel sorry truly in my heart, then I'll come back and apologize to you.
But he don't. That's my point. I don't think he feels sorry truly in his heart. I think he'd do it for his publicist, like Ace said. Say, hey, look, you got to put something out. We got to get a hold of this thing. So don't do it. Just don't insult our intelligence as fans. But it's not about his stature. It's about his place at that moment. At the biggest, I mean, the only other place he could slap him that would have been bigger would have been the Super Bowl. That's the Oscars. In America, that's huge. That's a huge thing. And then it went viral, of course. Even after, how does something from the Oscar go viral? The Oscar's already viral, you know. So I think that he should have never apologized or waited till he was ready and just did it the right way.
Janique, she has a real good point in the comments. She said D.L. Hughley is one of the most disrespectful comedians in the game, and no one has ever slapped him. And I agree, Janique, because he gonna
one of the worst too.
We're gonna tear them to shreds. She said Will's issue is with Jada and not Chris Rock. So
Will Smith should have what?
Will's issue is with Jada, not Chris Rock.
Let me point something out. I want to point something out too for black people and all people. Just because you agree with somebody don't mean you're right. I think sometimes we connect those two together because we agree with somebody, or a lot of people agree with what we said, and we think we're right. We're not right. We just got the opinion shared experience for us.
We right tonight.
Leonard wrong.
That is true. That's true, my man.
Everybody
just saying. A lot of times we think that's right.
Things, but the only person Will have to answer to is his wife, who he took them vows with to protect. And if Jada was like, "Thank you, I felt like you protected me tonight," we all wrong.
And guess what?
He could have done it better or taken a different route. But if she felt attacked, how often is it said that black men don't protect black women? But then, he does something to protect his wife.
We use that term when we want to. You can protect your black women by being a better father.
But yes, it's about how the woman feels protected, not necessarily just how the man feels like he's protecting her. Just like the 5 love languages. If your love language is physical touch and mine is gifts and acts of service, I may be doing all kinds of gifts and acts of services, but to you, I ain't showing you no type of love.
Well, he loved the hell out of Chris Rock. I tell you that.
That physical touch guy.
So I'm torn between it. I think we'll all agree to disagree on this. It's a very interesting subject to talk about because, I mean, from us 6 black people, there's different implications. There's women, there's men, there's the love of a black man and his wife. I mean, we can do this all day long, but I just don't understand how. I don't even know where my thought process is going. I'm gonna leave it there. I'll just leave it there. What comments do y'all have?
To do a round robin with a final thought.
Yeah, final thoughts. So let's start with Eric.
Let me go last.
What'd he say?
Let me go last.
Man, let's
let our guests go. Come on. Toya, we don't even care about what you got to say, Leonard. Toya,
I got you back, Leonard. I got you back.
I just think it's a matter that, unfortunately, it's going to be talked about for a while. And I guess at this point, as long as Jada and Will are at peace with each other and someone has spoken to Chris, Will has spoken to Chris, I really hope that happens because that conversation needs to happen. But other than that, it's nothing else to discuss about this. It happened. Can't go back. Mm-hmm. It's out there now.
Ace?
I feel that this needs to be solved with violence. Now, I'm not condoning violence, but I'm condoning violence. He slapped him. I think Chris Rock needs to be dead on his ass until the end of time. I'm talking about you gotta watch your back at every party, everywhere you go, because it's a champagne bottle waiting on you.
Okay, Eric.
I will say this though. I think I agree with everything Toya said. I think that this needs to be dropped from our community conversations, just in general, just because that it has some negative implications. But we definitely can learn some things from this. Like I said, from a normal black platform that we have right now to where Will and Jada and Chris, all them are, there's a whole different ball game and what the dynamics are in those scenarios, right? However, so we're trying to figure out what we do in those scenarios, and we really don't know what we do. We say we do, but when we get in those scenarios, we just really don't know. But I would just say this. Once again, have grace for one another because we never know when your time may come and you may be pushed to that point that you may not think you may go to. That you need that same grace at that point too, and it may not be on TV. Maybe just be you and your wife. Maybe just you and your sister. Maybe whoever it's gonna be. But you still want that grace and that forgiveness.
Leonard.
Oh, I get to say one?
Yeah.
No. At the end of the day, I think what it all really boils down we just don't know. No, I'm saying what may have happened and things like that, but. I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at the dynamics of everything, looking at who Will Smith is, looking at the things that have transpired that we do know for sure, and I'm just, making my hypothesis based off of that and saying Chris Rock shouldn't have even brought them up. He should have made all his jokes point elsewhere, just understanding the fact that, hey, they didn't like what I did last time. Let me just move on and just keep everything copacetic.
Leonard went back to the 70s with his comment, copacetic.
Yeah, copacetic.
Can you dig it?
All of that. Matters of what I've said tonight on the show. I think it's just a sad situation. Social media, we tend to make fun of everything nowadays, of other people's serious situations. I hate that their relationship has been in the public eye like it has. I hate that we can sit back and we can tear things apart, on social media. But the bottom line is that Will just reacted in the wrong manner, and it wasn't the right place for the way that he reacted. I hate that Chris Rock was disrespected on public television, and I hate that we're still talking about this. So like I said, this is the last time that I will speak about this period, and I just hope that we can just move on as a people, and let's learn to respect each other going forward, and like Eric said, just give each other grace.
All right.
Well, I guess I'll end it off. I think, you look at this, and the one thing that I see positive is everybody has this image of what marriage is supposed to be, taking care of your wife, this, that, and the other. But the Bible also talks about the quarrelsome wife, and I think that we need to kind of remind ourselves that in Proverbs 21:9, better live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. and I'm not even trying to throw everything on Jada, but I think the wisdom that we all share, we understand what the problem is. I think they need to get some help, but I also think that, marriage is a wonderful thing, but if it kills you, it's time to get out of it. And so I don't want to put all the blame on Jada, but I will say that there has been some issues. Red Table Talk probably opened up more issues than anything else in their own personal life. And Will is an American hero. I don't know if y'all know this, but like 6 straight years, Will was the #1 guy over the summer blockbuster. Will was an American pride, but he was black pride as well. This right here is the end of that black pride last night. Now, I'm not saying it can't start over. I'm not saying we throw him away. None of that stuff. But what I am saying is we don't need moments like that as black people. We most definitely don't need moments like that in the world of entertainment. I'm here to be entertained. That's it. That was not entertaining. It was scary. It hurt my stomach. I don't like that. It tore me apart, really, to see that, because you're looking at two people you grew up on and be heroes, kind of in the face of adversity or whatever they're going through. They just don't win. They lose. We all lost last night, in my opinion. So anyway, I'm like Toya, I'm like Ace, I'm like Eric. Well, not Ace. I'm like everybody else. I'm going to not really speak on it anymore. That's the end. Thank y'all for joining us. Anybody with the comments? Let me go to 1 or 2 more comments. Tamika Clayton, she said, Leonard, I agree. No, Leonard, no. Tamika, we don't agree with Leonard on this show. Leonard has frozen up because he is not moving. Anyway, until next Wednesday. Wednesday, we have a great show. We are talking about wealth, from rags to riches. Wealth versus, rich, and then poor versus broke. It's going to be a great show. See y'all Wednesday.